Carrefour 2.0, une série de forums débats sur les dossiers chauds de l'actualité, proposé par Choc FM 105.1.
They were that first generation who got free tertiary education at home. Before that, thank you. It was a huge deal. It was the beginning of the Caribbean project, right? Before that, to get a tertiary education, you had to be like both my grandfathers, the one black student who would get an island scholarship and go to Oxford or Cambridge, Edinburgh or London, and have to negotiate all of that whiteness, right, on their own. Here they spent 4 years with people who look like them, learning about the story of who we are, beginning to build relationships, businesses, love affairs that would last a lifetime, that would be about us. That would be about people who look like us, that would be our story. I have another story. I went to Bishop Anstey. It was an elite school in Trinidad, girls' school for brown and black girls, right? The current president of Trinidad, who is the first female president, went to Bishop. She was a year ahead of me. We knew, even then, our headmistress was a black woman. We knew even then that we were being groomed to be leaders, to take leadership in the world as strong, independent women. Yeah. In South Africa, people who are born after the end of apartheid are called born free. The born free. They call them the born free. I was born in that moment in time when independence came to our region. And we are the born free of our region. We are those who take for granted that our leaders are black, that the people who walk along beside us, the people who we work with and who we take leadership from, look like us, sound like us, and are us, that we are the leaders of our time. That's what I want to imbue you with in this new day. I feel like now in this new day, we can begin to own that in spaces not just in Trinidad, but all over the world. That our stories matter, our perspective matters, our leadership matters. That we can build relationships with each other as leaders, as people of color all over the world, and we can make the world a better place. So that's what CaribbeanTales does. That's what we do. That's what we have been doing. Particularly, I'm going to hand it over now to this wonderful person who Andrew has just. Can I say it, Andrew? Yes. He now runs the Arrow Center of Creative Imagination at UWI. This incredible man is now the lead facilitator of our incubator program, where we are nurturing and sharing stories to raise the next generation of great storytellers. So I'd like to end. Do you want? Should let me. No, I'm going to let Ita bring out Andrew. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah. Let's go into this new day.
Andrew Millington, where are you? Come. I'm very pleased too that Andrew is part of the Errol Barrow Center. Yeah. When I was about, I don't know how old, I remember seeing Errol Barrow buying salt in a supermarket. I was buying sugar. So I figure if a man who would be prime minister was buying salt, then I was in the making of something great because I was buying sugar and that was sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Millington.
Thank you, Aisha. It is my distinct pleasure to join you here tonight as not just as a Bajan. How many Bajans in the house? All right. As a Caribbean man. There's something very special about the Caribbean.
Yep.
Wherever you go, and I kid you not, I had an assignment 2 years ago. I had to go all the way to Serbia. I thought I was the only black person around. Not only did I see another guy walking down the street, was he of African descent? But he was from Barbados. And of course, we looked at each other. What the hell are you doing here? And it's the same thing. But the thing is that we take every opportunity seriously. And we both recognize that it wasn't just a Bajan thing going on. It was a Caribbean thing. Because we take the same trip on the same ship. All right, I'm not going to start to sing Trini Calypso. But what is exciting is for me to be here, the CaribbeanTales incubator, for which I have been affiliated for the last 3-4 years. And this year, I'm leading a group of filmmakers who I believe are the future. They are emerging, and they have a story to tell. And I think that they are attracted by the very idea that they must tell their own stories. They must tell our stories, because the story's been told, you and I know it, but the rest of the world is still to catch on. And we
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening. Well, thank you.
Good evening.
Tell me, introduce yourselves first and foremost before we get into tonight's screening.
Okay, sure. My name is Derek Thorne. I'm a musician.
Excellent.
Yeah.
My name's Dina, from the Caribbean community, born in London, over here now, and yeah, very much a part of the community here. So.
Excellent. And what were your impressions about the two films that were screened this evening?
Well, okay, so the short film, Osei and the Masqueraders, so it dealt with traditional mass, which is kind of right up my alley because, I've and I used to be I still am occasionally, the percussionist with Town, which was a band founded on, this traditional approach to an old Caribbean form, kaiso. And I've noticed that there seem to be, projects coming out lately that are dealing with old mass. And I had no idea that there was a similar kind of tradition in Dominica. And our family in Dominica. I think every Trinidadian person has family in Dominica. But anyway, yeah. To see that that sort of tradition represented in the way that it was, and to see the parallels between the Banmove and Trinidadian old mass was a wonderful thing. And we both said we had to go to Paramin when we go back to Trinidad. So, what about you, Dina?
What were your let's talk a little bit about your impressions of rattlesnakes.
Oh, rattlesnakes was good. Really good. It was like white knuckles, It was like very suspenseful, a lot of surprises.
The plot twist.
Yes, it was very intricate. So I like that kind of movie because it keeps you on your toes, keeps you thinking, okay, what's coming next? Is that called a psychological thriller or kind of, sort of? It is, right? So. Yeah. So it was really and beautifully shot, very beautifully shot. Well, he's one of my favorite actors, actually. I remember him from Claws, so I saw him in Claws. So to see him there, and it was really interesting. And of course, the snake right at the end.
Nice metaphor.
Exactly. It's like, you think you got away? Well, let me tell you something. So I thought that was really interesting.
Very good. And as members of the Caribbean community, I imagine is this your first year coming to the CaribbeanTales Festival? I figured as much. So tell me, how was the festival overall, your impressions this year?
Well, I mean, it's my second year coming to the festival, not second consecutive. Well, I mean, I'm not a film person. I'm not a film festival goer. This is pretty much the only film festival I've ever attended. My impressions of it would be completely in a vacuum, but it's purely about, I almost never get to see Caribbean stories, on a big screen, made by Caribbean people and with Caribbean actors, they're doing it. So, I mean, the last time I was here must have been 2 or 3 years ago. I think the film was Trafficked, I think was the name of it, right. And plus I saw a couple of documentaries as well. Trafficked was very Trinidadian, so and that was me. But and now to see this time a little more breadth, this is the Rattlesnake was a Haitian and British kind of production, and Masqueraders was Dominican. Oh yeah, it's kind of opening my eyes to there's plenty going on, and we have just as much to say, and we can say it just as well as anybody else.
That's very true. What I will not only congratulate the people who are participating in this event and who've put on this event, but congratulating the Caribbean community in general. What a wonderful event! What an honor and a privilege, right?
Absolutely, it made me feel really proud too. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourselves very quickly.
Yes, certainly. I'm Denise Williams.
I'm Maurice Bygrave.
Excellent. What were your impressions of the film this evening, the 2 screenings?
Well, I found the first thing about the first one anyway is about culture. It's about learning just a little bit more about some of those roots and some of the culture that maybe I saw bits of, but really, really grounded it quite a bit. And I'm from the Caribbean, been here for a long time, but it was really, really nice to feel that. To feel proud, too, proud of it.
I can imagine. And what were your impressions of Rattlesnake?
Rattlesnake. Well, I was quite impressed with the degree of acting and the performers, and I thought that the message about relationships was significant and important, and also the writing of the story had me wondering and coming to conclusions too soon, and then being surprised at the end in the revelation. But most important was the capturing of our culture and having it documented on film. And you know, as a founding member of Caravana, I see our festival somewhat similar, where our culture is slowly being eroded by personal gain and so forth, which does not reflect our story. And I'm also excited to know that we do have playwrights, the like of the gentleman, I forget his name now, who wrote the story.
Julius Amadeus.
Yes, because I feel that we need more. We need more individuals like those to capture our culture and present it in a way that reflects us in a positive way.
I absolutely agree.
Just a couple of things to say about Rattles.
Please do.
So first of all, twists and turns, of course. And I'm not one for a thriller. So at the end, I thought, okay, no wonder I was like just jumping out of my seat. I just don't do thrillers. However, as an opera person, I'm really glad that nobody really died in front of me. That was kind of cool.
I can relate. I agree.
That was a good thing I would say about it. That just that element of surprise, for sure.
Excellent. Thank you both so much for your time and for your perspectives. Have a great night.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Hey, how's it going?
Very well, thank you. Would you please introduce yourself?
My name is Ron Oscar Sierra.
I'm Leon Lozano.
Excellent. What an amazing night, right? Tell me your impressions of the festival in general before we get down to the films.
Here's what I've been loving right now. Off the top, I see my people. My people are doing well and have, it's the beauties all around, male and female, it doesn't matter, we looking good tonight. And the energy is so high and positive. I mean, this is an amazing night, period.
Have you had an equally positive experience today?
Yeah, so definitely feeding off the energy in the screening just now. Always awesome to have that much audience participation and everyone responding and hanging on every moment of the film. So it was a fun ride.
I think that's also a very Caribbean thing too, right? Like that response originates back to storytelling, having that give and take. So what were your impressions of the film? Both, either one.
I was along for the ride, definitely with the thriller. And, my kind of film. The first film, the short film, also thought was beautiful. And also it was an opportunity to learn a little bit about a culture that I'm unfamiliar with. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I was not very familiar with the culture either. I definitely learned a lot this evening. What about you? What were your impressions?
Same here. No, learning the culture. Dominica. Like, I've been actually on a mission to study more of the Caribbean. We being from Belize, he and I both, I'd made it a mission to study, and Dominica is so small, but to learn so much within that short film, just blown away. And the colors they're using and wearing and just displaying all over the film, I was blown away. But I'm not taking sides here, but I really love the short film. The feature film, Rattlesnake, as we seen tonight, that was a crowd pleaser. It was amazing. They really knocked it out of the park. But that short film really has a place in my heart, seriously.
That's true. I think everyone got a little bit of what they wanted or what they could relate to this evening and what their interests were. I want to take the time and thank you guys both on behalf of Shock FM for joining us this evening and for telling us your comments. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening. We're here with none other than the director of one of the short films that were screened this evening. Would you please introduce your film to our viewers and tell us very briefly why you chose to make this amazing piece?
Well, the film is called Rosé and the Masqueraders, and it's basically a story of a a little boy who's scared of the carnival tradition of his village, which is called the band mauvais, because it's set in Dominica, and there are a number of African retentions in Dominica which are untouched, and we're trying to preserve them. But naturally, with modernization and so forth, that's becoming more and more difficult every year. So the tradition of that particular mass, as we call it, was dying down. And I thought it was necessary to do something to preserve it. I've worked in culture all my life. I was the first director of culture in Dominica. I set up the Department of Culture there. And after that, I was appointed as UNESCO consultant, advisor on culture in the Caribbean. I worked in Jamaica 20 years, being in that particular role. So my life is about that. So every opportunity I can get to talk about culture, and I've done research on the cultures of the Caribbean in general, as well as that of Dominica. And they all need support for preservation into the next generation. Because with all the modernization that happens around the world, you still come back to your roots. And the roots of these traditions are strong and last very long, and they keep reappearing. And if we don't know how to use them to our advantage, then they become somewhat wasted. So to see that particular tradition of the band movie come back, at the third year after shooting the film, was just like a miracle. It was like water to a desert. And it was something that the villagers themselves were looking forward towards.
So what do you think is the greatest challenge for filmmakers, especially Caribbean filmmakers, when they're trying to
Money.
understand?
It's not easy to raise that sort of money because it's like taking a risk. And one never knows exactly how a film is going to be received. I think in countries which have a long tradition, a long history of filmmaking, they have more faith in themselves and are able to invest without too much fear. But in the Caribbean, you can only do it in small packages, 5,000 here, 2,000 there. So it can be very, very tedious to raise that sort of money. But I believe that going through the television programming, and most countries have national stations now, to get more into a series, Caribbean series. It can be like a series of five episodes, 10 episodes, shot on a shoestring budget. You don't really have to go for big sets and big props and elaborate costumes. The essence, the story is what's important. The story has that ability to glue you to that screen, whether it's the big screen or the small screen. Then you're achieving your goals.
That's absolutely right.
Small screen, I'm talking right down to the small screen on your cell phone, like YouTube and so forth.
We need to use all platforms available to us.
People enjoy the small screen just as much as a big screen. So the point is that if we can make movies that are not quite as expensive as they used to be.
That's right. So
it's coming down.
That's right. So quality. We want to really thank you and congratulate you again on this phenomenal night. Excellent film, and we wish that it gets all around, that everyone has an opportunity to share your story with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening. We have the pleasure. I think that everyone basically knows who you are, but go ahead and introduce yourself again to our camera.
Yeah, I'm here with Rattlesnakes as the actor and producer, and my name is Jimmy Jean-Louis.
I want to congratulate you. What a phenomenal acting job. C'était vraiment magnifique. Je pense que tous les spectateurs were on the edge of their seats. Il y avait beaucoup de suspense, the plot twist. I think there were a lot of really amazing elements to that film, so congratulations. Why did you decide to be a part of this project? Quelle a été la motivation pour cette film, en fait?
À vrai dire, j'avais une opportunité de faire un film, donc du coup, j'ai appelé le réalisateur. Je lui ai demandé s'il avait un projet qui pourrait éventuellement être tourné dans quelques décors uniquement. Il est revenu vers moi, il m'a dit oui, j'ai cette pièce de théâtre qui s'appelle Rattlesnakes. And I asked him, yeah, man, I think we can try to do that one because everything sort of took place in one room. So he wrote the screenplay, and then we went on and did the movie. You know, it's a psychological thriller, very suspenseful, full of twists, and then we explore many. Exactly, and you know, it's like we go into relationships, you know, betrayal and all kind of issues, and yeah, it speaks to everybody, and I was so pleased to see that audience, you know, loving it.
I agree. So what are your overall impressions of the festival in general? Is this your first year participating in the CaribbeanTales Film Festival?
Juste parce que tu as posé la question en anglais, je vais répondre en français.
D'accord, merci.
Non, c'est pas la première fois. J'étais ici l'année dernière avec un autre projet, mais par contre, c'est la première fois que j'ouvre le festival. Donc voilà, je suis très content d'être ici et encore une fois avec la fête avant le screening, avant la projection, c'était bien de voir tout le monde à l'extérieur en train de faire la fête. Moi, ce que j'aime bien, c'est de voir les gens de la Caraïbe, les Blacks from the diaspora, you know, coming together for common cause. And I live for that, you know what I mean? So I'm here enjoying CaribbeanTales, but at the same time, I'm also part of the incubators. So I'm also pitching another movie. And that movie...
On Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah. It's called Mother Water, or Mami Water. Which is based from of course, the African mythology, the god of water, so Mami Water. So yeah, so we're working on that with the same director, Julius Amedoume, and we hope to shoot sometimes next year. So maybe within a year and a half, you'll be able to see it.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure that you guys will get it done. It seemed that even this project, selon ce que j'ai entendu, vous l'avez fait dans pas mal de jours. C'est vraiment incroyable. Parle-nous un peu de ce process de production.
Ben, quand on fait des films indépendants, il n'y a pas vraiment de règles. Il faut vraiment faire avec les moyens du bord. En ce qui me concerne, j'habite à Los Angeles. Ça fait plus de 20 ans que je travaille dans le milieu. Donc j'ai quand même pas mal d'amis qui sont bien placés et qui sont prêts à faire des favors, as we say. So
the networking.
The networking. So I was able to bring on board some dear friends of mine from TV shows such as Heroes and other actors from 50 Shades Darkers and DPs from straight out of Compton, and we had great cameras. We had the Alexa, the Arri. So yeah, it's just a question of struggling, getting things together, always find solutions to problems, and never give up until you finish. And that was the biggest challenge, really, to make sure that whatever you've started, you finish it. So yeah.
That's absolutely right. We really want to thank you for your time. Again, congratulations on this momentous event, and also wishing you all the best of luck in the future with your other projects. We look so forward to seeing them.
All right, thank you very much. Good to have you.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Stacey McKenzie.
Excellent. And did you come out this evening to see the screenings? How did you participate in the event today?
Well, I came out first and foremost to support my friend Jimmy Jean-Louis. We've been friends for many, many years now. Used to model together, like when I first started out modeling. And, he's in a film, he's here in Toronto. I had to support. So that was the main reason why I was here.
Excellent. So,
and of course, CaribbeanTales. Celebrating, our people, in film. I had to be here.
That's right. Definitely not an event that we want to miss. What were your impressions of, I know you're obviously a fan, but what were your impressions of the film? Also the short film that was presented this evening.
Okay, what I loved about the short film was that, it's very cultural. So it reminds me, being a Jamaican, and we have like this thing called Jankuno, right? So it's kind of similar, right? It's not really... Yeah, it's like a Jankuno carnival in a way, right? But anyhow, so I was able to relate to it. So I loved also like the storytelling. It's kind of like a memoir vibes to it, which I love, biography type vibes, and I love that. So, it was just very relatable. you know, and just it just reminds me so much of home and my culture and our culture that I grew up on. So, you know, I love that about the short film. Now, when it came to rattlesnakes, I was actually
You were cheering so hard, you've lost your voice.
I was cheering. First, I was cheering for for Jimmy, you know, as I said, being my friend and all, and I'm like, Jimmy. So yeah, I lost my voice on that. But I will say, rattlesnakes really surprised me, because like there was just so many twists and turns, and also Jimmy's character. There was just so many different levels to his character, and it was like, okay, is he like, you know, is he messing with their minds, or is he telling the truth and like, you know, like really telling these men that their wives are so and so? Like, is he telling? Like, I was just so like, okay, I was on edge. Like, what is really going on? I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. So you know, it kept me like, you know, on edge. Like, whoa, what's gonna happen? You know, it was very intense like that. His acting, and I'm not saying that because he's my friend. Like, I was just really in awe by his acting in the film, right? The other actors as well too are, you know, of course,
absolutely.
Great. But like Jimmy's role and his character, like really, you know, took it to another level, right? It was very surprising a lot of times, just so many different levels.
So would you say it was well received by the audience?
It's a very good film. And I'm not saying that again because it's my brethren Jimmy. No, it was a very good film. I actually want to know. I actually need to talk to him to find out if it's playing in Canada or where it's playing, what countries it's playing at, so I could, you know, like spread the word, because it's a really good film. Absolutely. Yeah, really, really well done. The script, the writing, the actors, really well done.
We definitely enjoyed it too. We want to thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Big up on yourselves.
Thank you.
Bless you.